Hey guys, it's Chelsea from Little Mountain Ranch, and I'm gonna run inside quickly and just grab a hat because it's really bright out here. One sec. Okay, that's better. I currently don't actually own a baseball hat, so I'm wearing my teenage son's hat right now. So there is a couple of different things that I wanted to talk to you about today. One of them is entirely unrelated to farming, and the other is related to farming and gardening and all of that. So the first one is I've had a really cool experience recently where I have been talking to a couple of women from other places in the world and just developing friendships with them through an online app. I don't know if you're familiar with Marco Polo, but basically what it is you just make a video and it's like a video conversation. And it's been really, really fun for me to get to know these other women. And one of the most enjoyable and entertaining features of these developing relationships is realizing how the same we all are. We all struggle with the same insecurities. We all have quirky things that we do. And one of the things that I just found really, really entertaining is one of the women I was talking to was talking about how she had washed her she had to put her town pants on speed wash in the morning so that she had something to wear to go to town. And I laughed my butt off because I have one pair of town pants as well. And I have a couple pairs of like black dress pants, like slacks. And then I have a pair of nice jeans that I wear to town. I basically am a jeans and t-shirt kind of gal, but I have one nice pair that are worthy enough for town. And just that morning I had put them on speed wash and they were still slightly damp so that I could go to town. And it just cracked me up that she had had the same experience. And then this morning I got a message from another girlfriend who was telling me about how she couldn't remember the last time she had showered and needed to shower. And this made me laugh because this happens to me often. And in fact, my kids will often remind me, particularly my teenagers who care about such things, they're like, "Mom, you should probably go have a shower." You know, and they tease me about it all the time. And when I was watching this video where she was telling me about how she didn't know when she had showered last, and you guys know who you are, I realized I had been wearing the same t-shirt for 4 days, and I wasn't high maple, and I hadn't just been wearing my t-shirt for 4 days, but I'd actually slept in the same t-shirt. And that sounds just totally disgusting, but when you're homesteading, you have this kind of lifestyle, and even when you're not, that kind of stuff just happens because we all get busy. And it just cracked me up. I had such a good laugh about it. It made me feel less weird myself. And maybe you guys are listening to this and going, "That's absolutely disgusting and so weird." But even if that is to you strange and weird, I'm sure that there's things about me that are like you. And if you knew them, you'd be like, "Wow, I'm really normal." Or I guess if you thought you were like me, maybe you would think you weren't normal. I don't know. I guess it depends where you put me on the scale of normal. But either way, I just think it is really wonderful to be vulnerable with other people because then you realize that you're just the same, and it really helps. At least it's helping me to just not feel so insecure about some of the things that I feel insecure about. Maple, oh, my poor dogs, it's so hot and they just keep hiding out anywhere that it's cool, and they keep going up to our spring and rolling in the spring and then coming down to cool off. Are you so hot, honey? Okay, now on to the farming stuff. I did end up getting a couple of clematises today when I went to town this morning to plant here by these wheels that I put here, and I want them to go up the wall. So I spoke with the woman at the nursery to just get more information about growing clematis because I haven't before. So as I plant them, I'll talk to you about some of the things that I learned about clematis because there's some really interesting things that are important to know when you want to grow clematis. And one of the reasons why I'm sitting here in the sun instead of finding a shady spot is because it is mosquito season here. And I'm telling you, these guys are fierce this year. I have never seen mosquitoes like this before. And I've seen some mosquitoes. Maple, honey, go find some shade. And it's the minute I go into the shade, they get so bad that I cannot actually even be outside. We do have a couple of different things that we're going to be trying that I'll share with you in the next couple of days to try to help combat the mosquito issue that we're having that is so extreme. I'll let you guys know what they are because we're going to do some experiments and we'll see how they turn out. But anyway, back to the clematis. I had the clematis sitting over in the shade because one of the things I learned about clematis is that they like to have the top in the sun. They can handle direct sun, they can also handle partial shade, but they like to have their roots cool. And because these were in black pots, I didn't want them sitting in the sun and baking their roots. This one is called Jackmani superba clematis, and it is a dark purple, which I thought would look beautiful against the wood. And then this one is called Rouge Cardinal Clematis, and it is this dark dark reddish kind of purplish color as well. And I have actually decided to get a third clematis and plant it over here by there. And I'll probably get another variation on this purple theme. Okay, the sun has just gone behind a cloud now, which is really nice as far as the heat goes, but it's gonna make the mosquitoes come back. So I'm gonna work fast. Now I'm actually going to have to remove a couple of the perennials that I put in front of here. I think I'll actually leave the 2 on each side, and I'll just move this one in the middle somewhere else so that I can plant the clematis here. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for up on the wall for it to climb on. I think actually what I might do, something myself out of willow or something like that. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So like with most perennial shrubs, vines, or fruit trees that you're going to plant, you wanna make sure that the hole that you're gonna dig is twice the size of the pot that you have. So that is the first thing that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run and grab a shovel and get these in the ground, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna do to keep the roots cool. Somewhere, man, these mosquitoes are outrageous. Can you see them flying around me? Ah! I might have to resort to some bug spray. Okay. So one of the things that I like to do when I am digging the holes is to stick the shovel down as far as I can get it to go and loosen up the soil really well at the base of where I'm going to be putting the plant, and it just makes it easier for the roots to be able to make their way through the soil and to get established. Oh, I'm getting some spray. This is too insane. One sec. Oh man, that's better. So I just use a spray with a mix of straight citronella oil and eucalyptus oil, and we'll see if that's gonna work. I can hear them buzzing around me, but they're not biting me. Okay, one of the other things that the lady at the nursery told me is that you can bury down your clematis about this far down from the base of the actual vine, and I'm gonna do that because I wanna get it down as deep in the cool soil as possible. Okay, how I'm gonna keep the base of this cool, I will show ya. When Caitlin was little, she made me this little concrete block. I just love it so much. So I'm gonna use this at the base of this, and then I'm gonna find some terracotta. I have some few pieces laying around, and I'll put that in, around, and behind it. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over with this other clematis. When I was at the nursery, remember how in my last video I mentioned that I might buy 1 or 2 other plants, and I did. I got myself a little aloe vera because I don't actually have aloe vera right now. So for those of you that don't know, aloe vera produces vitamin E in the little goopy, gooey stuff that's on the inside. And I'll see if I can find a little piece here so that I can show you. So you see this slimy stuff on the inside. It has a high concentration of vitamin E inside of that goopy stuff. You can put it straight on burns and cuts and things like that. And I did not have one, so I wanted to get one. And then, like I mentioned, I wanted to also get a couple of pepper plants. This one is absolutely gigantic, so I think I'm gonna do some pruning on here, and I'll talk about that in a future video, but I wanna get these planted into the greenhouse right away. And then I also bought, see if I can back this up a little bit. I also bought some sweet corn, and I bought 2 containers of these sweet corn. I've tried to grow corn up here several times and have not been successful, but this corn apparently is an early maturing variety, so I thought I would try. We use a lot of corn, and it's very difficult to find organic corn, even frozen, up here, and it's also very expensive. So if I can find a way to grow my own corn, I will be really, really happy about that. So I'm gonna give these a shot. The reason that I bought these, I have 2 reasons for buying these. One is because I have a couple of containers in and around my wagon that is in behind me here, but they're on the ground, and I range my cows around this area. So I need to plant something there that the cows are not gonna eat, and they do not like marigolds. So I'm gonna put these marigolds in those just to add a little bit of color down lower until all of the flowers are starting to come over the edge of the wagon. And that was it. I used some restraint, and I think I'm done with purchasing plants this year, which is probably a really good thing. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this down, now that the clematises are planted, I'm gonna give them a really good water, and then we're gonna bring these down to the garden and get them planted. And then I have to get in the house and get ready because the kids and I are on our way out down to Grandma's house this evening to go for a swim. It's really hot here. It's been up to 37 degrees Celsius, which is somewhere around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. The one thing about the type of heat we experience here is it's a really dry heat. So we don't have the humidity, which I'm really grateful for. It's still hot when it's 37 degrees, but it's not as hot as it is when it's 37 and humid. I think that's gonna look so beautiful, and I think that purple is the perfect color to go up here. I still haven't decided on the color to paint this trim yet, but maybe once I put on my the little thing I'm gonna build here to climb up, maybe it won't need anything here, but we'll wait and see. I still want to do it color just for fun. Wonder if I can carry this tray and talk to you at the same time. It's a little bit windy, so I apologize if there's any wind sound. So far, everything in the garden is looking great. I'm most excited about my yellow and black beans right now, which have just come up amazingly, just about 100% germination. So I'm gonna have to get in there and do some thinning. Do any of you get a little bit sad or feel slightly bad when you have to go thin your plants? Okay, now I'm gonna have to put the camera down so I can open the gate. Okay, oh, and I have something else that hatched out this morning to show you. Absolutely adorable. Now I have to decide where I am going to plant. I'm running out of space in my garden, which is not a problem I mind having. Where should I plant the corn? Should I put some of it in the food forest, do you think? I think I might put some of it in here just to take up some of this bare ground. Oh man, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna see if I can sneak up. Look at this, you guys. That is a Welsh harlequin, and those are her 4 little babies that she just hatched out. She hatched a few of them yesterday and a few more during the night. And she actually only lost one, which is pretty good for a first-time mom. Oh, what a good girl you are. Aren't ducklings the sweetest thing? So from what I can tell, it looks like there are 2 males and 2 females. Can you see the difference? The males have the darker head right here and right here, and the females have the light heads there. That's the way you're supposed to be able to tell Welsh harlequins apart. We did find that when we bought the last batch that we bought, that there was a couple of them that actually turned out to be females that had the dark head. So we'll see. Oh, honey, what a good mom you are with your baby. I'm gonna back up so I don't disturb them because they just look so sweet. Okay, now I have to sneak around her so I don't disturb her and go dig the area where I'm going to put the corn. I am going to turn the water on and water the area that I want to dig up because the ground is so dry, and get this corn planted. When I'm buying plants at the nursery, one of the things that I always kind of keep my eye out for is oftentimes you will find that in a tray there will be 2 in 1, and so generally you pay a set price for the 1 container, so you can sometimes get a few extra plants, which was the case in this case. I ended up getting 2 extra plants in that 1 container there. And then in this case I got 1, 2, 3, 4 extra plants in this one. Now to brace for the heat of the greenhouse and get these 3 banana peppers in. Last year I made a candied banana pepper for pizza and it's so good, so I really wanted a couple banana peppers. Whoo-hoo, it's hot in here. Okay, so with these pepper plants, because they're so tall, I'm going to clip off the top of them. Let me see, I don't want to get the flowers. So I'm just gonna clip off these, and that encourages growth down here so that the plant is bushier. Pruning is another one of those things that I don't really love doing, but it really does make a big difference. So I'm gonna do 2 of these pruned and 1 of them not, so that I can show you a comparison. I have to get out of here, my goodness. One of you was asking me about herbs and whether I grow herbs, and I do. I actually just started growing herbs last year, and I mentioned this on, I can't remember, a video not that long ago just that most of my herbs actually came back, which is very exciting. Look at the size of this tarragon, it's huge. So I'm gonna start harvesting this now. I'll cut it right back actually, and then dry all this and then let it come up again. And I have some chives over here and oregano here. And then there's a little itty bitty thyme plant that's coming up there and over here. And then of course, lots of lemon balm and mint. I have lemon balm planted here because the mosquitoes hate it. So I'm not really worried about it spreading over this area. This little one here, this is a horseradish. And then I have a different kind of mint over here. And I also have some basil, and that's what my camera is just moving all over the place. And that is something that I have to plant every year because it is not perennial here. Is it perennial anywhere, or do you have to replant it every season? I don't know. But either way, here it is not. It is an annual. One of the other things that we like to do and that we're learning about, I have some dirt on my lens again. This is a epidemic with me when I'm out in the garden. One of the other things that we like to do is wild harvesting, and Aurora's favorite
is lamb's quarters.
Lamb's quarters. Can you show one of those leaves so that we can see it? So this is what the lamb's quarters looks like, and it's a wild spinach, and it's really good, and it's actually
especially in stir fries.
And you prefer it over regular store-bought spinach. Yeah. So we'll be doing some wild harvesting this year. In fact, I'm going to start making my fir tip syrup probably in the next week because all the fir tips are starting to come out. So you can keep your eye out for that video because that's been a much requested video. Now I need to get the sprinkler on the garden. As my good friend Bert mentioned, you generally don't want to be watering during the daytime. The water on the leaves can actually cause them to get sunburned. But I don't really have a choice because my garden is so big and I don't have a watering system set up at this point to be able to water the whole thing all at once. So I basically move my sprinkler around during the day. And so far I haven't noticed any major issues with sunburn. A little bit on some of my squashes, but on the more hardy plants it seems to be just fine. So I'm gonna get my sprinkler set up, and then I have to get inside because I only have less than an hour now to get everybody ready to head down to Grandma's house. You can hear the chimes in the background. I put a couple of chimes up on here. I am so looking forward to when the forest garden is all filled out. It looks pretty sparse right now. I'm kind of hoping that with all of the filler plants that I put in, that by kind of midsummer it'll be much more full than it is currently. But I have the vision, so the sparseness of it is not bothering me too much. Okay, sprinkler. Where is the sprinkler? I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.